fan favorite and yet least understood by his own creators. Considered one of the most truthful characters, although he began his career from a lie. Famous for his sensibility, although he is able to kill in cold blood. Not fitting into the world in which he lives and yet most beautifully showing his depth and complexity. Not aging but develops with age more than anyone in that world. Twice saved from permanent death by the power of love. Shadow the Hedgehog, a living paradox. The ultimate hedge form. I'm sorry, I will try to be more professional, I promise.
Witam.
And maybe you already noticed, English is not my native language, so forgive me for my mistakes and especially for my pronunciation. Okay, so let's go with this. So, my love for Shadow started exactly 2 years and 3 days ago, with one song, but even more with some psychological analysis but amazing Treesicle, which YouTube suggested to me right after that song, and which I linked to you in the description, like most of the opinions I wanted to refer to. It was the moment when I learned the most about Shadow. Thanks, Treesicle.
However, Shadow doesn't want to be seen as humanity's enemy, so he's holding his power back.
Gosh, even from talking about the speed of this hedgehog, he was able to do something to think about. No wonder that to this day I love watching that kind of opinion videos and reading other fan comments. Opinions are different. Of course, everyone agrees on how Shadow was portrayed in Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom, two opposite sides of the scale, but apart from them, I heard criticism about every other game, even Sonic Heroes, for the return of Amnesia, for example. Also, some people easily regard Shadow the Hedgehog game as part of Shadow's nature, others say he was never aggressive and this game ruined his fragile personality. But what is his personality like actually? Is it tender or does it have a bit of internal cruelty? Can he be shown differently in subsequent games? I have been gathering for a long time to say something on this subject, but one video made me tell myself, okay, now it's Shadow's birthday. I mean, somewhere about this birthday. So I decided this is the time I must finally do it. I will start maybe with Sonic Boom.
Let's get this over with.
So to put it mildly, I hate the fact that it exists and I don't understand why it exists. Both as a Shadow fan and Sonic fan in general, and there are tons of reasons for that. The authors turn cool characters into a bunch of stereotypes in the style of Winnie the Pooh, destroying all the charm of relationship built over the last 10 years. Admittedly, I only had a close relationship with the animated series, but I don't think the game would be intellectually different from it, so don't force me to look at anything more than these few cutscenes. Which hurt anyway. Look, I found this and I thought it was a joke edit. This is so bad that fans and critics prefer to say that 06 is the worst Sonic game instead of mention Boom existence. And this is far worse, according, for example, to Mojo ranking.
Is so awful that not even the most dedicated fans of the once proud Hedgehog can bear to defend it.
The only positive feature of this freak is that one look is enough to distinguish it from normal Sonic games and animations. Even if this red-black thing didn't say one word, one could calculate endlessly why it is an just empty shell after Lil Shadow. Where does this happen anyway? Shadow lives in a cave just to jump on Sonic from time to time and get him down? Where in this world, detached from civilization, is the place for Maria and the experiments that resulted in Shadow? Okay, I understand that portals and parallel worlds, but Shadow works for Gun, right? So what about Rouge and Omega? Omega. Oh, E123 Omega. Forgive me, I know that Rouge is great, of course, but her character evolved naturally as a listening character who was needed at the moment. She became a supplement without which Shadow could be too difficult to perceive. Omega, however, I will never leave my admiration over how Sonic Heroes solved the problem of missing a third person. You see, Rouge and Shadow already at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 were a promising couple. How could you add someone to such a duo? I think that the authors faced an unsolvable problem at the time. Rouge and Shadow would not accept a dull and weak character in their team, but another person as strong and steely-eyed as they would destroy the chemistry between them and disturb this wonderful balance. Person. But what about a robot? Seriously, who came up with this crazy idea? I want to shake his hand. Omega, due to the fact he has no feelings, or rather, he has their specific form, does not prevent the development of emotional depth between Rouge and Shadow. At the same time, his mechanical approach to life can give the scenes an extraordinary humorous aspect.
Any objections?
Negative.
If I had to choose the best idea in Sonic games ever, I would have a problem. Chaos Emeralds or Omega? This robot is for me a pure personification of how honestly Sonic Team loved and understands their own characters. They solved a temporary problem for one game, but in such a way that every subsequent one without it would lose value, because the characters quickly grow together and began to need each other. All of them. Shadow, Omega, and Rouge. As noted by characters in Deep.
She is the voice of Team Dark. She's the glue that keeps everyone together.
She can get along with both Shadow and Omega. Well, that girl is an intelligent beast. She can work with emotions. But in a sense, Omega as a killing machine intentionally created by someone is needed by Shadow because he may see someone similar in him. I think that because Team Dark looks the way it looks, Shadow can really accept who he is, which confirms that a person of flesh and blood instead of Omega would destroy everything. Yeah, I think Team Dark is good start to talk about Shadow. Without it, he could not be the true reflection of Sonic, because today's Sonic is above all the personification of friendship. So Shadow must balance his friends too, despite the fact that he debuted alone in the game and seems to be a loner most of the time. Just seems, because although I used to be convinced for a long time that he don't like company, and I even took part in a long exchange of opinions on this subject with myself123, he likes loneliness not more than any of us. Today I think you were right, my friend. Shadow is just different than Sonic or Remy, and although he doesn't mind being with them, he doesn't enjoy friendly chats with people like them. Actually, I have the impression that conversation is a specific matter for him. Whenever he speaks, if it's not a purely information matter, he talks about something important for him. Probably that's why he and Rouge quickly began to look like very, very close friends, just because Shadow was talking to her. I mean, let's make it clear, it's not like Rouge was the first girl who was on hand, because Shadow would not confide to anyone. He did not come close even to Amy after what she did for him on Ark. Anyway, largely thanks to her own perceptiveness, her known initiative and even courage, which he showed especially in the introduction to Sonic Heroes, Rouge won such an important place with him. How important? Well, fans' interpretations is not always accurate.
Don't you want to know what this is?
My assignment was to rescue you, nothing more.
But still important.
Even if you believe everyone in the world will be against you, know that I'll always remain by your side. Remember that.
I will.
How much Rouge gave Shadow we all know, but in my opinion it's not like she didn't get anything in return. You see, I think that how fans see her is very different from how she would like to be seen. Yeah, one of my many, in my opinion, you can think of whatever you want. Get used to it. Note that she shows her sensitivity and warmth to our favorite hedgehog, listens to him and lets him confide, but only when they are alone. With Eggman, Sonic or any company, she becomes a great, grim treasure hunter, cold and cunning.
Tell me who hired you.
Not a chance. A professional never reveals their sources.
It's true that sometimes she fails at this, and I have the impression that her emotions come out much more often than she would like. I think whether she is aware of it or not, Shadow impressed her with his appearance, and while he learns from her how to open, be more friendly and humane, she tries to intercept from him a bit of his indifferent haughtiness. And just look how much fun it gives her to command such a team. No, IDW, this is not Shadow who commands here. Seriously, Shadow, you could as well pick up Omega. This is obvious that Rouge is the boss. She started this team, she is older than Shadow, however you understand it. more experience in work required cunning. And you see, in my opinion, it's obvious that Shadows is very keen on making orders. Maria, Rouge, Gun, whatever.
Got it.
I don't say he is always accepting every order, but when he decides to, he is completely fixed on it. He just turns off his brain and without any questioning its content, enjoys being away.
I'm the coolest.
I know this is shocking opinion and probably even Shadow himself is not aware of it,
Trust only yourself.
but it can be seen over several games. It was very difficult to convince him to change his plans for Earth, despite the fact that he is not stupid and should realize early that such an angel like Maria would never wish for such a thing. Look how proud he always stands behind Rouge. And Gun. This is not an accident that Shadow started working for them, although here I see one more reason. Another opinion of mine is that Shadow wants to be close to them in case his story repeats itself. I came across opinion that he was used by them, that he had nothing to say, but I think it was his very thoughtful decision. Except he likes to make a rampage sometimes under the pretext that someone ordered him. Why? It might be his own personality,
Talk about being stubborn and full of surprises.
but it is much more likely that it has some connection with the manipulations of Professor Gerald, who wanted the object of his experiments to be obedient. Or his nature of black arms comes to the fore. After all, there was a great hive with one ruler. As I said, I got into the Sonic fandom from music, and yes, it was of course Shadow the Hedgehog music. So I will not surprise you with the fact that I belong to those who do not mind the game, although I am aware of its smaller and bigger stupidities. Bugs, unnatural dialogues, repetition, just like of the fact that if I was in fandom during the premiere of the game, I would probably have a heart attack. The Shadow is undoubtedly completely different from the first one, though not so different from Sonic Heroes. In retrospect, however, when the fans have found their place in the new reality and the authors kinda sort it all out, it looks much better.
That fourth Chaos Emerald. Yeah! Fourth Chaos Emerald! Curse you, Sega.
Most of his behavior suits me very well. I can explain a lot to myself that it was just a cruel reality that cast him into an unfriendly situation, so he had to deal with it somehow.
Sometimes a hedgehog just needs a gun.
And because of amnesia, he forgot that he's supposed to be good. That last sound weird? Not for me. As I said, I see Shadow as a creature made of pure evil, for whom feelings and empathy should be foreign, as unnecessary in battle. But they aren't, because at some point appeared someone who gave him unconditional love. Maria. Maria was to his emotions what his rings are to the energy of chaos. Her presence silenced his second dark nature. And then there was that tragedy, and Shadow faced the nasty challenge of dealing with it all by himself. Sonic Adventure 2 taught him a lot. Later he found friends and all was getting better. And then another amnesia came and we got...
Who is this Maria?
Sad, but totally legit for me. From that moment, Shadow step by step gained self-awareness, learned self-control, and learned more and more about himself. Though there are still moments when he forgot himself a little. This game precedes this all, shows his mistakes and lose, and I love that. Okay, but it's not like I don't know how it really was with this game from Sega's point of view. Half of the first decade of the 21st century was dominated by bizarre passion for darkness in games. We got Jack 2 Renegade, Tomb Raider The Angel of Darkness, and even the strange The Legend of Spyro. Once I saw a very interesting list which presented even more games. I wish I could find it again, although Lord Danny also interestingly talked about this topic.
The world goes from colourful and bright to... this.
Sega at the time was regularly bombarded with fan requests that Sonic could use weapons, but they was doing everything to keep their mascot an innocent teenager. On the other hand, the popularity of the Black Hedgehog was crazy at this time. There was a survey that showed that Shadow is much more popular than Tails or Eggman, and he was the one who fans wished to be the hero of the next game. Sega added 2 to 2 and decided that could be a great way to save Sonic, and at the same time experiment a bit with spin-offs. They adapted the game to the dark atmosphere of games in those years, and voila! Here we have Shadow with a gun larger than himself. So, Sega often didn't go well at listening to our whims, yet it still could be much worse. I personally like the concept that Shadow used a firearm. This practicality suits him, and at the same time, there is something funny about it. I am very happy that his fans didn't abandon this idea, unlike the authors themselves. Someone said Shadow limited using guns because Sonic doesn't like them. I like such realistic explanations, though I wish to see him canonically with gun in his hand again. On the other hand, when you look at all these ideas, ambitions, the system of path selecting, that look at the main character psychology, that music... Yes, music. You can't say enough about this music. It has admirers even outside the Sonic fandom and to this day appears in various Sonic games in new arrangements. I consider it masterpiece, although I have never liked such a music before. And I will honestly tell you that with all that I watched, what I played, finally, when I want to be close with my favorite hedgehog, I just turn on his soundtrack. Honestly, even Sonic Adventure 2 give us only the musical outline of who Shadow is. I don't like throw it all away, especially with vocals. Well, maybe a bit more, if we can't supporting me, while in his game his personality is sunk in a way that Sonic himself can envy. And the path system. This is great. Have you seen anything else with this approach to level setup anywhere else? I don't mean simply the choices that affect the fate of the characters in the game. I mean access to specific levels that we can play but we don't have to. I don't understand why everyone complains about the non-canonity of most of what happened there. Have you seen the movie Next from 2007? Somehow in that case, the viewers didn't complain about the ending. Have you seen it? Some could joke that this is compliment to Sega that such a game is generally considered to be bad. By the way, Sega could finally stop deleting games as a whole because of the bad reception of one element. Elements such as turbo bugs, for example.
It may be hard to collect them all.
He just couldn't take it.
Returning to Rouge and to... Well, at the moment I have to end unexpectedly. I am so sorry for such a clumsy division, but I was planning to make one long video until I realized that I have 13 pages of solid text, which I want a reader estimates for...
1 hour, 8 minutes and 58 seconds.
Oh, yikes.
I decided that this would be the first part of 3 and I will record the next one in July, somewhen after a momentary return to real life and rest, okay?
In the next part.
Why do I think Sonic Forces and Tonic Sim Racing Overdrive are very good at presenting Team Dark relations? Why does it make no sense to say that Shadow is not an anti-hero, with a dedication to characters in deep?
You're the best, man.